Most millionaires in America today aren't actually millionaires in the way that truly matters for your daily life. On paper, everything looks perfect. You check the box on a financial spreadsheet, and there it is, a net worth in the seven figures. But if you subtract the value of your home, the picture changes instantly and dramatically. Suddenly, that feeling of absolute security starts to feel a bit fragile. Let's start with a hard truth that most financial advisors are too polite to mention. You cannot eat drywall. You cannot pay your monthly medical bills with your backyard. And you certainly cannot fund a 30-year retirement solely on the equity hidden behind your kitchen cabinets. According to recent data from the Federal Reserve, the median net worth for households headed by someone aged 65 to 74 is around $410,000. On the surface, that sounds like a solid achievement. And it is. But for the vast majority of these families, over 70% of that wealth is illiquid. It is trapped in the structure they live in. While that house provides a roof over your head, it does not provide a check in your mailbox. In fact, it does the opposite. It demands taxes, it demands insurance, it demands constant, expensive maintenance that only gets harder to manage as the years go by. This is the paper millionaire paradox. You are asset rich, but you are cash poor. You have $1 million net worth, but you are living on a modest Social Security check, watching every penny at the grocery store. This isn't the retirement you were promised, and it isn't the retirement you deserve after 40 years of hard work. The distinction between your total net worth and your investable assets is the most important calculation you will ever make. Investable assets are things like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and cash in the bank. These are the soldiers that go out and work for you every single day, whether you are awake or asleep. When we look at the wealthiest 2% of Americans, they don't just have high net worths. They have high liquid net worths. They have at least $1 million in assets that can be easily converted to cash or that generate a steady stream of passive income. For them, the house is just a place to live, not the backbone of their financial survival. But for most homeowners, the house is the only real item of value they own. They have spent decades paying off a mortgage, believing that the house would be their ultimate safety net. But real estate grows at an average rate of only about 4% per year. While that beats inflation, it doesn't even come close to the historical 10% return of the S&P 500. Think about the math over just 7 years. A $1 million home might grow to $1.3 million in value. That is a nice gain, but you still have to pay the property taxes on that higher value. However, $1 million invested in a diversified portfolio could grow to $2 million in that same 7-year window. And that $2 million can produce $80,000 a year in spendable income without you ever having to sell the assets. The difference isn't just a few numbers on a page. It is a completely different quality of life. We must also talk about the psychological anchor that holds so many people back. Your home is filled with memories, children's heights marked on door frames, and the comfort of the familiar. But we often confuse emotional value with financial utility. Keeping a 5-bedroom house when you only use 2 rooms is not an act of love for your family. It is a drain on your future. Every year you stay in a house that is too large, you are paying a staying tax in the form of utility bills, yard work, and repairs. This money is disappearing forever, rather than compounding in an investment account. So how do we fix this? How do you move from being a home equity millionaire to an income-rich retiree? The first and most effective strategy is what we call right-sizing or downsizing. Many people are living in large family homes that they no longer need. The kids have moved out, the guest rooms are empty, and the stairs are becoming a challenge. By selling that 5-bedroom house and moving into a high-quality 2-bedroom condo or a smaller home, you can unlock hundreds of thousands of dollars in dead capital. This isn't about losing your status. It is about gaining your freedom. If you sell a house for $800,000 and buy a smaller one for $400,000, you have just handed yourself a $400,000 raise. When you put that money into income-generating assets, it can produce an extra $2,000 every single month for the rest of your life. That is the difference between worrying about the price of gas and booking a flight to see your grandchildren whenever you want. Consider the opportunity cost of your equity. If you have $500,000 sitting in your home's walls, That money is earning effectively zero in cash flow. If that same 500,000 were in a dividend-focused portfolio, it could be generating $20,000 a year in income today. By choosing to stay in a house with excessive equity, you are essentially paying $20,000 a year for the privilege of living in extra rooms you don't use. The second strategy for those who refuse to move is accessing the equity through a cash-out refinance or a specialized reverse mortgage. Now, I know these terms can sound intimidating, but when used correctly, they are powerful tools for empowerment. They allow you to stay in the home you love while forcing the house to finally start paying you back. It turns that trapped wealth into usable liquid cash that can cover healthcare or simply improve your standard of living. It is about taking control of the assets you already own. However, be careful with these tools as they require professional guidance to ensure they fit your long-term plan. The third strategy is shifting your focus to passive income generation. We often talk about net worth as the goal, but in retirement, net worth is a vanity metric. Cash flow is the only metric that matters. You should be looking at assets like dividend-paying stocks, REITs, or high-yield bonds. The goal is to build a portfolio where the income generated is higher than your monthly expenses. Once you reach that point, you have achieved true financial independence. You are no longer relying on the hope that your house price will go up. You are relying on the reality of a global economy that pays you to be a part of it. Think about the legacy you want to leave behind. Do you want to leave your children a house that they have to clean out, renovate, and sell while they are grieving? Or do you want to be able to help them now when they are buying their own homes or starting their own families? When your wealth is liquid, you have the choice to give with a warm hand rather than a cold hand. You can see the impact of your generosity while you are still here to enjoy it. The fear of being a burden to your children is one of the heaviest weights a person can carry. It keeps you up at night, wondering if you will run out of money before you run out of time. But when you prioritize investable assets over home equity, that weight disappears. You gain the ability to handle emergencies without stress. You gain the ability to be generous with your family. And most importantly, you gain the peace of mind that comes from knowing you are truly secure. We have been conditioned to believe that the American dream is just about owning a home. But the real dream is the freedom that money provides. Money is not just paper, it is an instrument of liberty. It is the ability to say no to things you don't want to do and yes to the people you love. True wealth is measured by the number of mornings you can wake up and decide exactly what you want to do with your time. If you are in your 50s or 60s, now is the time to look at your balance sheet with total honesty. Look at how much of your wealth is actually working for you. If most of it is sitting in your walls, it is time to start the conversion process. It doesn't happen overnight, but it starts with a single decision to prioritize income over equity. You have spent your whole life taking care of your house. It is time for your house and your wealth to start taking care of you. Stop viewing your home as your primary retirement plan. View it as a lifestyle choice, but view your portfolio as your survival engine. When those two things are in balance, the stress of retirement melts away. You won't have to worry about a sudden market dip or an unexpected roof leak because your cash flow will be robust enough to handle both. This is the path to a retirement that isn't just comfortable on paper, but joyful in reality. Don't wait until a crisis forces your hand. Don't wait until your health dictates where you have to live. Take the remote control of your financial future back today. Build a life where you are rich in the ways that actually count. Because at the end of the day, true wealth is the peace of mind that allows you to sleep soundly, knowing your future is protected. You have earned this freedom through years of discipline and effort. Now it is time to go out and claim it. Your future self will thank you for the courage you show today.